All right. Then we've got fall on the paddle. And falling forward moves the center of mass that we talked about for each paddle forward, and it creates that forward momentum and lowers the center of mass, which adds stability. So we got all that, right? So once we open the top shoulder, the next thing is to just literally fall on that paddle. So what that does as well is it forces an up front plant. So what I mean by that is if, when you open the top shoulder and you fall, you're going to automatically have an up front plant. If you don't fall, right? If you're not leaning forward when you open up, or you don't commit to it, what will happen is you'll reach out here, you'll start your pull, and then by the time you get in the water, you've lost half your stroke. If we commit to immediately falling onto the paddle, it forces, right, whether we want to or not, it forces us to put our paddle in sooner, which gives us, as we saw when we did the hinge demonstration and the twist demonstration, it gives us more positive angle all the way back. Make sense? Okay. Then, the next part's pretty easy. Stand back up. Now, we've already seen that when we move our center of mass forward, we start with a lean in anticipation. We're going to load that leg. Now we've got that leg loaded and we've fallen on that paddle. All you're going to do is you're going to reverse everything. You're going to drive through this heel. You're going to be pushing this knee and this hip back. When you do that, you're going to be standing up like a sprinter coming out of the block. So when you push through this heel, this knee, this hip move back at the same time, what you'll be doing with your back foot, driving through the toe. You're driving through the toe, this hip, this shoulder come forward. So we got everything's working in conjunction. So you're falling, and you're standing up. Falling, and you're standing up. And one thing you can think about is, as you're moving forward like this, we're not just pulling ourselves up. So you can imagine if this was rooted here like a ski pole, I'm not just pulling myself up to it, I'm also dragging the canoe along with me and throwing it forward. So I'm pulling myself up and throwing the canoe ahead of me. I'm pulling myself up and throwing the canoe ahead of me with my back hips. So fall, stand back up. And then the last part of our stroke is push the baby. And basically what that is that's what I started to allude to there. You are going to drive through your shoulder and hip to push the canoe out in front of you, to get it as far away from you as you can. So we're not just content to just pull ourselves up to where we planted the paddle. We want to move even beyond that point. And we'll talk a little bit in the next segment about the myths and the realities of planting a blade and moving up to it. Some of that is accurate, some of it isn't entirely accurate. But for now, we just want to think about plant it, pull up, and move beyond. So when we push the baby, it's elbows locked, shoulders set, we're pushing from the shoulder. So you don't want to think about pushing from the hand, you don't want to think about pushing from the elbow, you don't want to think about using the triceps, because here, right, we've just broken the connection, now we're just using small muscles. Now we're just using the tricep, maybe a little bit of the delt, but not a whole lot going on. But if we come from the shoulder, as we're pushing through that back toe, now I've got that back leg, that hip, that shoulder are all adding that pressure and momentum to allow us to keep moving that way. All right. Any questions up to that on the stroke? Concerns?